I just want to say that I was at the North American Polyglot Symposium, and it was very interesting. So I can, if you're interested, I can share with you my experiences there. And I also gave a little talk there, and the talk was, can you, what is it? Do you have to speak to be a polyglot? Do you have to speak to talk? So if you're interested, I could also share with you some of those thoughts.
I'm interested.
Okay.
I'm interested
so
too.
the only question is,
Answer it. Very interested.
pardon?
Yes or no?
Suspense is killing us.
This is good.
The suspense.
Oh, the answer is
Yeah. Yes and no.
Stay tuned.
yes and no. Yeah, but I'm not going to give away the gist of my talk. You have to hang around to hear me make my presentation. Otherwise, no one's going to hang around. Once they finish eating, they're out of here. So anyway, at some point, when everyone has had their dinner, or at some other point that Laura decides,
No, I'm not the boss here. It's you.
I'm not used to being the boss, you know.
Oh, yeah, right.
My wife is the boss.
She's sweet.
That's really romantic.
I don't know if it's romantic or not, it's just true. Anyway, that's it. So at some point, if you want, I can talk to you about the North American Symposium and my presentation.
Yes, please.
So I say, as you know, my style of language learning, if I'm going to go and talk to someone, if I have a good vocabulary, if you know, I've spent a lot of time, I have a good vocabulary, I understand well what the other person is going to say, I will be less inhibited when I go to speak. If I don't understand what the other person is saying, if I don't have many words, I'm actually more inhibited. So I have a tendency in my language learning to wait until I have a sufficient familiarity with the language so that I'm confident that I can understand more or less what's being said, and that I have enough words to kind of stumble around, even if I make mistakes. So that's my choice. So I actually often choose to be a silent polyglot until I reach a level where I feel confident enough to have meaningful conversations with other people, where I'm not asking the other person to make a special effort, you know, to constantly repeat, to constantly slow down, to make sure I understand, which normally those are things you get from a teacher, but it's not what things that you can normally expect from your average native speaker of the language. So I just feel that but however, there are many people who prefer to speak right away because they find that interesting, fun, motivating, feedback. So all I said there, it really doesn't matter. But if your choice is to be a silent polyglot, that's valid. If your choice is to be a person who likes to speak right away, and then you find it fun, and that encourages you, and that might in fact encourage you then to get into more listening and reading. Ultimately, to be a fluent polyglot, and in my little talk I define fluency as being B2 on the European scale. Did anyone here know the European? Basically, it's like a high intermediate. So you have to understand essentially most situations. You're able to express yourself in most situations. You have a fairly good vocabulary. People aren't making allowances for you. People aren't uncomfortable speaking to you. And you know, it's worse not to understand, because if you don't understand, you're uncomfortable. And once people recognize that you don't understand what they're saying, they're uncomfortable. Whereas if you struggle to express yourself, that's not such a big problem. So from that perspective, now I lost my train of thought. What were we saying here? So, yeah, so to get to fluency, I still believe that rich input leads to rich output. And that's true even in your own language. People who read widely in their own language express themselves better, and there's all kinds of studies to show this. They write better. I mean, people who do well at university are people who read a lot, at least in the humanities, because you then have exposure to a lot of rich vocabulary and so on and so on. So rich input equals rich output. So in the long run, if you want to reach this B2 level, this fluency level, then at some point you have to bite the bullet and spend a lot of time with input activities. But at least initially, you can call yourself a polyglot, even if you have this superficial connection with the language, or if you are a largely passive learner. And that was the gist of what I said. I was trying to be more entertaining there when I had my slideshow and put in a few jokes, mentioned Melania Trump and a few things like that. That's all I have to say. And now I'm open to discussions or further questions. Yes.
I'm a polyglot. I speak 6 languages. I'm trying to learn a 7th.
Yes.
I started learning it about a year and a half ago, and I'm finding it incredibly slow going. And I think it's because I'm not young anymore. Have you noticed any differences between language learning as a young person and as an older person?
Yes.
So I'm not imagining
without a doubt, I'm a better language learner today at 70 than I was at 17. Any other questions? No, honestly, I'll tell you why. I believe it's been my experience. The more languages you learn, the more flexible the brain becomes. The more confident you are, I'll tell you what your problem is, if you don't mind me saying so. Is it your first Slavic language?
Yes.
All right. Slavic languages are tough. Russian was my first Slavic language. I think I spent three years before I opened my mouth. Because you have the verbs of motion and the cases and the cases like you get them wrong. No, but you can get them wrong. It doesn't matter. Another thing which I did with Russian is I mostly was involved in listening and reading, and a certain vagueness and lack of clarity because I didn't quite have the cases nailed down didn't prevent me from enjoying what I was listening to and reading.
What size are these, Tomas?
14.
14.
Everyone, time to choose the winner for the weekly video from our cool bucket here. Just to let everyone know, we only have 2 more videos left of our LingQ Academy series. So if you want to increase your chances to win this cool blue shirt or the gray one, the more videos you share and hashtag for every video goes equals to 1 name in the basket. So share up to many videos as you want. Share all of them, and then you'll have more chances to win during the last 2 videos. So this week's winner for our LingQ Academy live video is Zoran on Twitter. Congratulations, you won a cool t-shirt, and everybody else, good luck for next time.